Hey guys, Dino Fever continues and we are going to take a look at another Mattel item. We have got one of the action attack dinosaurs from the Jurassic World line of toys. So we're going to take a look at the Carnotaurus today. This guy is, like I said, from the action attack line, so it has an action feature. It is in that same style open air kind of package that we've seen with the Indoraptor and with the Super Colossal T-Rex, although this guy is far more open than the Super Colossal. But we've got him in full view here with the volcano background, and then the back of the package demos the action feature as well as shows off a little bit of a cross-sell of some other items in the line that we might be taking a look at shortly as well. So let's pull this guy out and take a look. Alright guys, so here is the Carnotaurus out of the box, and this is one that when I saw him on the shelf, I instantly grabbed him just because I thought it was a cool looking dinosaur. It's got a cool name, it sounds vicious, and it has a pretty cool design. So this is one of the Action Attack series dinosaurs, which means it has an action feature. It's also slightly larger than some of the other dinosaurs. Obviously it's not the biggest, but it's got some size to it. So for size sake, let's take a look. We've got about 15-ish inches from head to tail, and then about 7 to 7.5 inches from foot to head. So he's got some size to him. He's pretty decent size, and it's 20 bucks. Not bad. He does have an action feature. We'll talk about that, but we'll talk about articulation first because it's slightly articulated, but nothing too crazy. The tail is ball jointed, so you can move it all around. The only real problem with that is if you do that, you're going to break up that line work, the paint work with the design that runs down the back. It's kind of unsightly. The legs can swivel, but they are hinged as well, so they can go outward. What that allows you to do is so you can plant his feet, and his feet have to go basically this way, the right foot forward, left foot back, but then hold them down and you can kind of rear it back up on its legs, or you can put it downwards. So this is the same kind of motion that the Super Colossal T-Rex does, where you can give it a little more oomph, I guess, by making it posed in those certain positions, the kind of the upward, the downward, and then this sort of neutral pose. He's got these arms that can rotate. There's not a whole lot of life to these, and then that's about it as far as articulation goes. The head and the neck do move, but that's tied to the action feature, not necessarily any kind of real joint work that you're going to move on your own. The feet are also swivel, but you can't really do a whole lot there. It's basically just because you can do it, but there's no real need. Now, as far as the overall look and feel and design of this thing, I like this dinosaur as a toy. I like the way it looks. It's got a lot of that reptilian, leathery type skin sculpted into it, just basically sculpted detail from nose to tail. There is a lot of sculpt work going on here, and that's kind of the trend we're seeing with this line, is that Mattel is throwing a lot of sculpt work at what is relatively cheap in terms of price point. It's obviously got a lot of that scale work done. You've got these spines that run down the head to the tail. We've got these cool horns up here at the top. We've got those little beady eyes, and then we do have a mouth full of teeth as well, which I think is really nicely done. The only thing I find odd about this dinosaur in terms of its look are these hands. So these are not your normal clawed dinosaur hands. They are very much look like baby's arms coming out of this thing's chest. It's kind of unsightly, rather creepy as well. But what are you going to do? It does have a lot of paint on it. Most of it is obviously in this kind of brick red, but then we do have this sandy underbelly that goes up to the neck, which shades really well into that red, and then of course the chin as well, the lower part of the mouth, which all blends into that red, which has more brown tones in it, and then we've got the black that runs down the crest all the way down to the tail, and it's kind of modeled through. So I like it. I think the coloring is really nicely done here. It's very much a striking design. I think it stands out, and that's one of the reasons why I grabbed it. I thought it looked cool. And of course, like I said, it does have an action feature, and it's hidden pretty well, honestly, I think. So it's got a button on its back. Push that button and you can make it bite. And I think what's interesting to me is that the whole dinosaurs became birds thing is that this looks very much like a chicken pecking at food. So I like it. I think it's pretty cool. It's definitely a fun factor for kids. And it's just, I don't know, even for me, it's fun to do it. And what you can really do with it, and I don't have any of the 3 3/4 inch Jurassic World figures, but if you're slow about it, you can open the mouth and, maybe hang Luke Skywalker in there. It doesn't have the greatest of bite, so it doesn't really want to stay, but when you're if you're good enough, you can get them to hang in there, and the Jurassic World figures might be a little lighter than old Luke here. But I think in general, this is a really cool design, and the play feature is something fun, and that's what these lines are about. So I think it's implemented really well, not to mention the fact, like I said, it is also hidden extremely well, and you aren't going to notice that button unless you're truly looking for it. So at the end of the day, I am happy with this particular dinosaur. I think, yet again, they have knocked it out of the park. The sculpt work on this thing is pretty well top-notch. The paintwork is really nice, and the overall design of this toy is well executed. The only thing I don't really like are those weird hands on this thing. Is something about those just slightly creeps me out, but I do like the action feature. I think it's a nice size for the price point, and you are ultimately definitely getting your money's worth out of this toy, especially when this is something that is meant to be played with and thrashed around by a kid who is absolutely going to enjoy this toy, and that's really what it's all about. So that's going to do it for this look at the Mattel Jurassic World Carnotaurus figure. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and until next time.